Well, well, well. Well, well, well. How about that Justin Gaethje? We'll get to that fight. I'll start with it because a lot of this card was crap. We'll start with the best and get to the worst. Because this card was not good. There was we had 3 amazing finishes early. And then we had a war at the end. And then the middle. Dude, the fighters were shitting we saw elite fighters shitting the bed left and right. We'll talk about that later. Right now, let's talk about Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblet. This is one of the greatest fights that I have ever seen in my entire life. This is definitely one of my favorite fights I've ever seen. It's top 3 for me. This is one of my favorite fights I've ever seen in the UFC. It was absolutely fantastic. I got my Justin Gaethje pick right. I got all my picks right on this card. So that's nice for me, I guess. I went 11-0. But it's a small card, only 11 fights. So, but it was a hard card to predict. So I give myself some props there because there were some hard matchups to predict for sure. This was one of them, and Gaethje showed. He showed us yet again that he is not only an elite striker, but this guy is one of the craftiest vets in the sport. And this guy's an absolute craftsman. He's got a lot of crafties in his game, man. And man, that fight was just so crazy. But yeah, Justin did a really good job. Moving the head. His head movement was great. His defense was great. His freaking fight IQ was fantastic. Both with the striking and, utilizing some of the clinch and sprawling out on top of Paddy. Using that time to recover so he could keep up the same pace on the feet. Knocked him down, 3 times? Arguably had I'd say round 2, I had a 10-8. I scored this fight 49-45 in favor of Gaethje. And round 3, he was, winning round 3. Barely. And then the nut shot. And then Paddy kneed him right in the dick. And then after that, Paddy started teeing off. He used that momentum from the nut shot. Because Justin's too much of a Chad to recover. So, Paddy used that momentum to I kind of put it on Gaethje for the last 30 seconds of that round. Nah, to be honest, Paddy was on his way to winning that round anyways. Even right before the nut shot, he was starting to tee off and then nut shot, but then he continued to tee off anyways. But anyways, yeah, this was an amazing fight. Both of these guys did great. Paddy is right. Scousers, I'm a Scouser lad. We don't get knocked out. He's right. Scousers don't get knocked out. It's impossible to knock out Pimblet. It's literally impossible. Literally impossible. You can't knock out Pimblet. Gaethje tried. You knocked him down 3 times. You can knock down a Scouser, but you can't knock him out. It's impossible to KO Paddy Pimblet. Honestly, if Paddy fought Ilya, which is not ever gonna happen. Sorry, Paddy. Paddy would lose by submission. I don't think he'd get KO'd. Ilya's smart. He's not going to waste his time. I think he's going to submit him. I think he would submit him. Or maybe he'd try to KO because, no one's KO'd him before. He wants to do what people haven't done to people before. But at the same time, he is smart, so maybe he'll be like, okay, no, this is a lost cause. Just freaking shoot him for the legs. And, I think he'd definitely be able to sub Pimblet. And getting him down would not be much too difficult because Justin Gaethje was able to get him down. Yes, Justin Gaethje did show improvements in his grappling, for sure. He has. This is fight IQ-wise and, technical-wise, this is the best version of Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is at his best. He's 37 years old. Okay, maybe he's not in his physical prime. Maybe he's a little slower, but technically he's made a lot of improvements since he's been in the UFC. Right? People factor age too much into account sometimes. Oh, well, he's washed because he's this age. No. Look at their performances. That's how you dictate if someone is in their prime or if they're washed at their performances. And how not just if they're winning or losing, but how like they look compared to themselves. You have to compare them to themselves. Compared Justin Gaethje to Justin Gaethje, he is at his best. And this was his most technical performance ever. Yeah, I know it was a chaotic scrap fest, but it's Justin Gaethje. He's a chaotic fighter. This is his smartest performance in terms of his game plan. He knew the grappling threat was there. I think a lot of people are going to be shitting on grappling for not shooting takedowns. He shot 3, by the way. He shot 3 takedowns. Couldn't get a single one. And Gaethje was like, and anytime Paddy could have set up a takedown, Gaethje backed him into a corner and clinched up. Gaethje would back him into a corner. He'd tee off. He'd go for either that overhand or he'd go for that 4. He'd go for a jab. He'd get it on an angle. He'd post on the face and he'd clinch and he'd start throwing body shots in the clinch. Paddy would try and exit out to the left. Justin would sprawl on top. Throw some ground and pound shots. Separate. Throw. Go back to the center. Manage that distance. Reset. Gaethje had a great game plan going into this fight. The way Gaethje was able to the way he's able to move with other people. People aren't able to catch guys with shots the way Gaethje does. What I mean is that if you're constantly retreating, we see guys I'm sorry, but Figgy, if you're Figgy, if you have a Figgy style, this current weird washed Figgy who just retreats and is, just impossible for him to have a decent fight. His past 2 fights have been shit. Should have lost the Montel Jackson fight. Sorry, Brazil has corrupt judges. Don't care. I think that was a robbery. Even though nothing happened, but Montel clearly fucking won. I'm sorry, he won that terrible nothing fest. But as I was saying, if Gaethje fought a Figgy style, you say you take someone that fights just like Figgy, but at lightweight, he is going to KO that person, right? Most people are gonna have a very hard time catching someone who's constantly retreating like that. Gaethje does not have that difficulty. He is willing to become a goofy goober when he needs to catch someone. He is able to move with someone, extend in ways that other people don't extend, dip and slip in weird, unorthodox ways, and throw these shots from these weird angles, through and around and over the guard. He's able to navigate around a person's guard as they're going back really well. Really well. Paddy was moving around well. He was. But Gaethje is just an elite striker and is one of the craftiest crafty vets. And a crafty vet is a compliment, by the way. Because he's a veteran of the game and he's crafty as fuck. He has a lot. If you don't know what being crafty means, just you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve. And you're smart. You got a lot of tricks up your sleeve. You got unique shit that you do. That's Gaethje. He's a crafty vet. One of the best crafty vets in the game. Maybe the best. And he's the interim champion. I do view this as a paper belt. It's interim champion. It usually doesn't matter unless it's a Tom Aspinall situation. But this fight determined who the 4th best fighter in the division is. That is my opinion. I think the best fighter in the division, of course, is Ilya because he's the champion. Until proven otherwise, he is the best. Arman Tsarukyan, number 1 contender. Until proven otherwise, he is the 2nd best. Max Holloway is the 3rd best guy in the division. The fourth best is determined between these two. What about Charles? I'm sorry. Charles would get chinned by this version of Gaethje. This current version of Charles would get chinned by this version of Gaethje. I am confident in that pick. Charles would get chinned by Gaethje. Charles is going to get dog walked by Max. I love Charles. I like Charles more than I like Max and Gaethje. I love Charles. He's one of my favorite fighters. But I'm sorry, he's just... This is not the same. Charles isn't in his prime. And Justin... I mean, we already know Justin has the potential to knock out Charles. We saw it in the first fight. Right? Freaking... What else was I going to say? Yeah, I think he would chin this version of Charles. Like, I think, after Ilya cracked his chin like that, and after, he's just taken a lot of damage over his career, and he is noticeably worse. Charles is a noticeably worse fighter. But he just beat Gamrot. Gamrot is great, and that